live. If you're new here, you haven't seen my channel before, I'm Sisian, and my channel is about spirituality, self-awareness, and self-development. My topics are cover on normally about self-development, a little bit of spiritual concepts as well that we should understand, right? So today we're speaking about what is the difference between being in love and loving someone. As human beings, we've all had that feeling of being in love. It's such a fleeting, such an emotional experience to be in love. Right? Being in love involves the butterflies, the obsession. I'm so in love. I'm so excited about this person. There's an emotional high when it comes to being in love. It's ungrounded. You're so excited about this person. We call it infatuation because it's a phase whereby we're not really sure who this person is, right? But we're excited about them. We're excited to be with them. There's euphoria when we're together. There's excitement, that good feeling, okay? The butterflies, the obsession, realization of this person. It's a new person. We're all excited about that person. That's what we call I'm in love. And there's movies made about being in love. What does it really mean? It's so ungrounded and unsettled because it's driven by chemistry. I'm in love. It's driven by chemistry, heavy involvement of hormones like dopamine, as well, that floods the bloodstream when you see that person, when you be with that person, when you think about that person, right? So that driven by chemistry, feeling, heavy involvement of hormones like dopamine, I said, and oxytocin, right? You feel like you somehow addicted to this person. When the person is not around, you feel the low of not being with that person. You miss that person. It's often very temporal as well. The period or the phase of being in love can last anything from 6 months to 18 months, maximum 2 years, right? Remember that it's a fleeting feeling. It tends to peak early in the relationship. It peaks up early in the relationship. We have the honeymoon phase when we feel so excited about a person. The honeymoon phase, being in love, it's a good thing, it's exciting, it's nice to have that exciting feeling. It can include blindness, blind love. Love is blind because of all the excitement. It's driven by the hormone surge, the excitement, the thrill of being with that person. Right? It's not grounded at all. It can be blinded, as I said, because you're not sure who this person is and what they want. Being in love, it's very fleeting. Excuse me. Being in love is ungrounded. You're not sure of that person. They say I'm in love. Love is blind. It's all the excitement that blinds you, not the reality of who this person is and what you're getting yourself into. Being in love, excuse me, guys. We all have been in love. We all remember the excitement of being in love. And it can be so fast. You can meet somebody today and all of a sudden you feel that attraction. You're so excited about this person. And it's so fleeting because it's driven by hormones. Being in love is not balanced, it's not grounded. Because it's driven by the emotions. And we all have been in love at some time or the other in our lives. Okay, now the difference between being in love and loving someone. I mentioned that being in love, it's like infatuation because You don't know this person. You're just excited about being being with that person, or you're excited about the idea of being with that person. You like the idea of that person being with you. You're not really grounded in who you are. Hi, is it Dina? I call you Dina. Is it Danira? How are you, my lovey? Danira, I think I'm pronouncing it right. How are you doing, my lovey? Learn Roblox. How are you, my love? Peter, how are you? Peter Fenter. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining my live, guys. Today we're speaking about an interesting topic. We're speaking about being in love, the difference between being in love and loving someone. Very important to know the difference. Now, we call the first phase infatuation. When you first meet somebody, there's an emotional high. You're excited about being with this person. There's butterflies in your stomach. A little bit of obsession as well comes into play. You begin to idolize this person because you're excited about the person itself. Okay, there's constant thoughts about them as well. You constantly can't stop thinking about them, constantly thinking about this person. It's driven by chemistry. That's why it's such a exciting, thrilling feeling to be in love. It's heavily involved in hormones like dopamine, as I mentioned before, and oxytocin hormones. It feels like an addiction, an excitement. You just want more and more of this person. You want to be with this person. You want to spend time with this person. You just want to see their face. It's exciting. It's a thrill. It's very ungrounded. Being in love is a very exciting feeling, right? And it normally lasts about 6 months to 18 months to a year, right? And the novelty seems to wear off very quickly. Because remember, it's about being in love with the idea of that person, the idea of being with that person. You don't even know that person. You don't know if you'll have the same things in common or if you'll have any compatibility. Hi, sweetie pie. Thank you for joining my live. Peter Fenter. Are you from South Africa? Because that is an African surname, right? So, guys, I'm streaming now from Durban, South Africa, okay? So if you're from any other country, let me know. Let's get to know each other and where we are from. I'm talking about love, babes. At fun with. I'm talking about being in love. The difference between being in love and loving someone. And the reason why I'm touching on this topic today is because I have a lot of people that I do readings for. I do tarot readings for. And they're always asking about love back, wanting the ex back and stuff like that, right? Remember that the first phase, if it doesn't mature into love, that person can lose interest in you and in the relationship. Excuse me. Excuse me. New Zealand. Oh. Somebody's from New Zealand, Michael. Nice to meet you, Michael. I'm from South Africa, and I'm streaming from South Africa. New Zealand. I have a brother, family member in New Zealand. Okay, let's continue with my topic. So, guys, if you all are willing to do so, please let me know where you're streaming from, where you're viewing this live from, which country. It's just interesting to know, like, how we all can connect from different areas of the world at any time due to social media. Right? So that's why I'm asking, like, if you are interested in giving an account of where you're streaming from, please do so. Okay, now remember that love is what we all need. However, we get caught up in infatuation and in that I'm in love feeling, but it's not grounded, it's not balanced. And today we're talking about that, right? So being in love is full of chemistry. It's about driven by chemistry. People excited. It's very emotional because it's driven by the feel good hormone of dopamine. I feel so good when I see this person. I feel so good when I spend time with this person. I can't stop thinking about this person. It's very exciting. And we all had this idea that this was really like teenage love. I remember when I was younger, I always had the idea that being infatuated is only linked to teenage love when you were younger and we had no idea about life. But I soon realized, even later in my life, that yes, even adults can get that feeling, that infatuation type of connection and feeling. And there's nothing to do with age, really. Think about it, right? But as you mature and get older, you should understand more about what is love and what is infatuation because of your experience in life, basically, right? Now, as I said, it can be very blinded when you are infatuated, I'm in love. You might overlook the flaws and project your own ideas onto that person or feel the love is beyond your control. I can't help it. I can't help it. I can't control myself. I can't stop thinking about that person or this person that I'm in love with. So the focus is mostly on how you feel at this time, the excitement, the thrill of being with this person and speaking to them, spending time with them, the excitement of being with them because they give you butterflies in your stomach. That's not being in love. Mostly focus on how you feel, the excitement, the validation, the desire, that attraction. We call it the attraction that we have with the person, right? It's a wonderful and very energizing period and experience, but closer to most powerful emotional altered state than stable foundation. Is very um, emotionally charged. It's not stable. There's no stable foundation here. It's always about the now, the thrill of being with that person. Then loving someone. Let's talk more about what it means to love someone. What does love really mean? Now, I'm talking about platonic love or even romantic love. Remember that you can love somebody romantically and not be in love, but love them as well without that infatuation phase, because it goes like this. When you meet somebody, there's an infatuation, the excitement. And then as you gradually get to know that person, you spend more time with that person, it's supposed to ground to love. You understand? Then you start learning about this person, more about this person. And all the flaws and everything about the person doesn't stop you from loving them. Instead, the love grows and that excitement, that thrill wears off. The initial honeymoon phase will then dwindle away and then reality kicks in. And then you find, okay, this person, I love this person because they're so grounded. I love them because they understand me, they get me. I love them because we can have great conversations. I love them because they really respect me and cherish me. I love them because I feel safe with them. Now remember, when you're in love and infatuated, you're not thinking about your safety. It's the butterflies in the stomach, it's the excitement, it's the dopamine. It's an emotional charge that you get each time you with that person. But when you love someone, it's much more grounded, okay? Much more balanced. This is deeper, more intentional, more enduring, right? Choice and action. It's all about choice and action. Now you choose to be with that person. It's more grounded, like a verb. Love is a doing word. You now show this love and this care and respect and support to this person. It's not much just an emotion, it's a doing thing now. When you now love someone, it's more balanced. There's no, I mean, you're putting effort to make this person smile. You actually want to be with this person. It involves behaviors like listening and compromising and being there during the hard times and even in the good times. Now, infatuation and fleeting feeling of being in love, when that person's having a bad time or there's a bad situation between you and that person, they're not talking to you anymore, or you'll have a disagreement before the love kicks in, you end up breaking up because you can't stand it. Now you realize this person is not what you think they are. The truth of them comes out, that they are not perfect beings. You understand? But when you're in love, it's much more different. You accept them for who they are and what they are. You accept the good things about them and also the so-called bad things about them. You accept the reality of who they are, which is beautiful. You see the person's flaws, as I said, the annoyances, right? Everything about the things about them, you see everything, the bad side, the ugly sides, and then the beautiful sides. But you still love this person because this person understands you, this person accepts you, this person not just tolerates you, they celebrate you. They love being with you. They make you feel good about life. You get what I'm trying to say? It's a feeling of I found my person. This is my person. They get me. And they're always there to support me. I can trust and depend on this person. You see, that's the difference between being in love and loving someone. Loving someone means I'll be there for you no matter what. Even when you have money, lots of money, or even when you don't have money. Even when things are bad or when things are good, I'm still there. I've got your back. You my person. You understand? That's now love. And it's not conditional because remember that being in love is very conditional. I'm in love with you as long as you show up for me, as long as you give me what I need at that time, as long as I'm still feeling the excitement, as long as the sex is good and the intimacy is good, as long as you are tolerating my nonsense, I love you. I'm in love with you. You understand? But love is much more deeper, it's much more concrete, and much more mature. Love is much more mature. It's about maturity. So let's talk more about this. Includes contentment and intimacy. Contentment and intimacy. I'm content with being with you. I'm content with that I can trust you. You know, I'm trying to say, I love you. And I'm not just in love. I've passed that phase. I've gotten to know who you are. I begin to trust you. I feel emotionally safe in you, with you, and in your space. I feel so emotional safe and grounded, and we share values. You understand? Loving someone takes time. Being in love with somebody doesn't take any time because being in love is about the emotion. It's not about the knowing. It's about the emotion. So it includes commitment and intimacy. I trust myself with you. I feel safe and emotionally safe with you, physically and emotionally. You are my person. I feel your humanity and I feel good when I'm around you, right? I feel good, basically. Basically, I feel safe. I feel so good with when I'm around you. You know what I mean? I can trust you. If I'm in need, you're always there for me. That's why I love you. You always got my back, and I'm ready to give you the same. You see what I mean? Being in love is about uh, replicating, giving back. I love you. Being in love, sorry, I love you, and being in love. Being in love is more fleeting. I love you means I'll be there for you no matter what. Being in love is I will only love you as long as I'm getting that feeling that I need from you. I'll only love you as long as you're giving me the Gucci bags, you're giving me the money, then I'm now in love with you. You understand? And it's fleeting because once the bags stop and the money stops, then it changes. It changes. But if I love you, no matter what, even if I don't get the money, I know you are helping me now, however. But when you stop, I still love you because I feel that you are so grounded. I know I can trust myself with you, right? So it includes commitments and intimacy. I can trust myself with you. Intimacy is about trusting. I'm not talking about sexual intimacy. I'm talking about intimacy, general intimacy, speaking, trusting that person, being friendly and being safe in a person's space. Okay, let's continue. So we need to understand as human beings, we get caught up in that first initial phase, that excitement, that thrill of being with that person, the butterfly feelings, the excitement, the sexual activities and all those things. Now, all those things are fleeting because remember that having sex is like eating. Basically, we satisfy ourselves and gets done. But if we can sustain the same feeling even after the sexual activity, I still love you. Even outside of that intimacy, the sexual intimacy, I still want to be with you. I still feel safe with you. Now, we tend to try to go to stick on that exciting phase, that butterflies in the stomach. We like that feeling of being ungrounded, that excitement. And when that excitement wears off, then we say, no, the love, I don't love you anymore. No, you were infatuated. You were in the buzz of the dopamine. Now that you get to know me, now you say you don't love me. It's because you were so addicted to the excitement, the initial thrill of meeting me, the initial thrill of spending time with me, the initial thrill of being with me, basically. But as you get to know me, that I'm human, that I have flaws, then you stop and you wonder, you start questioning yourself that I truly want to be with this person, because this person is a human being with flaws. Now they're steadily and resilience. You're steady and you're resilient when it comes to love. It it wears and weathers boredom. In other words, I don't want to be with you because you make me excited. Even if you're a boring person, I still love being with you. You need to understand that being loving someone and being in love is two different things. And as human beings, we get caught up in the whole idea of being in love. We don't understand that being in love is the initial phase of the relationship, and loving someone is the end point where we want to go. Loving someone is keeps a relationship grounded and intact. Loving someone is in places where people are married for 15, 30, 20 years. When you love that person, when you get to know everything about that person, and remember that it changes, the people change. And as they change, you don't stop loving them because they change. Instead, you learn to love the new evolution of them as you're both supposed to be growing together. Together but separately, which is not to get enmeshed with your partner. Right. Now remember that loving someone is steady and is really resilient. It weathers all arguments and fights. Yes, we can have arguments and we can have disagreements. We are human. We're allowed to have disagreements and arguments. It doesn't mean that I'm going to stop loving you. We must break up because we disagree on the color of the paint to paint the house, or the color of whatever it is, the kitchen scheme, what the kitchen's going to look like, or the color of the bathroom. Just because we disagreeing on something, it doesn't mean that we need to break up. That means that you don't love that person, you don't love each other. If every small thing means that, okay, it's over, I need my space. Let's have a space. Let's have some time off of it. That means that somehow between the two people, there's no real grounding in terms of love that's really developed. They were both stuck and addicted to the initial dopamine high of being together. But now they realize, okay, we need to now ground ourselves. We need to get back to reality and try and build a reality alive together. Now you get to understand this person's not perfect anymore. Then the problem comes out, right? Now remember that psychologists have been studying the human behavior for a very long time. They've been studying human love relationship and friendships, okay? They've been studying this technology of human relationships, okay? Now let's see the key difference between being in love and loving someone. Being in love, as I said earlier on, is about the feeling, a state of euphoria, a state of excitement, the thrill of being with that person. And loving someone is more grounded. Its action and attitude is more grounded. It's not pushed by the high levels of dopamine when you're in love and you're still in the honeymoon phase. The nature of love, of being in love, sorry, is a feeling state. A feeling state is all driven by hormones, dopamine, and stuff like that. And being in love is short lived, it's a short term. That's why a person says, I thought you loved me. You want us to break up, but I thought you loved me. Normally, a relationship like that will last maybe 6 months, nothing more than 16, it's over. It's even lucky to reach 1 year, then it's over. You understand? Because of the fact that it's supposed to be a short term feeling and state. Now, when you're supposed to be in love with somebody, right? Now, in that period of getting to know them in a loss, in the first 6 months to a year, in that short period of time, if love doesn't kick in, your breakup. One of you or both of you will get bored of the relationship and your breakup because the initial stage of excitement is over. That is why a lot of people don't last 2 years loving each other or being in love, because being in love is short lived. So within that first 6 months or a year, love's supposed to kick in. Now, love is more grounded, as I said. It can last a lifetime. Unlike being in love or infatuated, it's a short lived period, very, very short, up to 16, 18 months, I say, to 2 years. Okay, 24 months. Okay, let's continue. Right now, you must understand, look at the way relationships around you are conducted. Look at, do a kind of research on relationships in your own family or in your with your friends when they're dating, and try and gauge how long that period of being infatuated or being in love lasts, and how many couples make it to the longer love process where they really love each other and not in love, but they love each other. We're talking about marriages now. We're talking about long-term relationships if the couple don't want to get married. You understand? Because that's how it works. So it's all about time and patience. Time and patience, and also what are the couple's intentions? Why are you dating a certain person? Does that person want marriage? Does that person want marriage, or does the person just want the infatuation, initial phase of excitement, the sexual excitement or that attraction? You need passion. Not every single person wants the long-term love. A lot of people only want to be stuck in the passion and the excitement. And when that wears off and the truth comes into matter, and you learn the person more about that person, then you say, no, it's over. It's over. I cannot move on with you. And that's a reality. And we need to understand that a person gets to know who you truly are. Your issues with your anger and your temperament, your issues with the fact that you're stingy, you don't like giving money, you don't like being open about money and all those things. You understand? Now remember that relationships have pillars and they're like grounded. Not one thing builds a relationship. A lot of things build a relationship for it to become love. For me to love you, I need to feel safe in your space. For me to love you, I need to feel as if I can lean on you, that you are somebody I can trust, even in good times and in bad times. Whatever, even if my family don't like you, I must be able to stand up for you. I must tell them, by no means will I leave this person because I love them. That's how it works, guys. That's how you can tell if somebody's in with this relationship for long term, or they just want the excitement, the buzz. Now, what they always say is that men are always pursuing women as sexual, like, kind of challenges. I just want to get into her pants. That's the problem. And now we have a different type of perception now. A lot of women are also following in the same trend when it comes to relationships. I just want to get the sex and just, yeah, see how it is to be with that person on a sexual level. Because a lot of people don't believe in love. They believe that there's no love. So they feel as if that what I can get out of this person physically, the person's money, the sex and everything is enough. A lot of people living in that low frequency states of mind where they don't believe in love. They don't even believe they need it, because where they come from, their homes, their backgrounds, they never receive unconditional love. They always came with a condition. You do this for me and I'll give you this. And they never learned any different. And they got hurt so many times in their lives, so they decided that love doesn't exist. It's all about what I can get from that person. That's another problem that we have as human beings. Then we get a bit messed up and confused when a person after 6 months doesn't want to be with you anymore. After a year, don't want to be with you anymore, because that phase, the honeymoon, is passed, and that person lost interest in you because they got what they wanted, and now they can see that you're not a perfect person, that you have imperfections, and maybe you're too clingy, you're too needy, and they don't have the capacity to give you all that. Now, I always tell my clients that when a person breaks up with you, you should say thank you, because at least that person decided to break up in the sense that, okay, I'm moving on now. You're not what I truly want. You got to be grounded when it comes to human interaction. You got to be grounded. It's like a friend who doesn't want to be your friend anymore. Or you're going to fight that person and follow them and do all sorts of things because you don't want to let go of the friendship. It's the same as with a romantic relationship. We experience that fun, and now it's time for that person to move on, and they're telling you that you must move on, but you're holding on because you invest yourself to the relationship. You don't understand these phases and cycles in relationships. The first cycle is very exciting, from the first day you meet to the 6 month mark, and then maybe the year mark. Sometimes a person gets to learn you, slower pace. It takes him a year, maybe 2 years, dating you and getting to know you and interacting with you to realize that you're not the partner, you're not for them. And that's okay as well. We all have received disappointment. We've all have received disappointments in relationships. We need to be grounded and understand that, yes, it hurts, but I can get over the pain. It means I have another opportunity to have another relationship, to learn more about myself, because relationships on a spiritual level teach you more about yourself, about how you treat yourself, how you don't treat yourself well, how you treat yourself well, but putting yourself first in a relationship. Understand that this other person that you in a relationship with is just an imperfect being like you. That person's from a home. That person has had pains in their past in relationships. That person is not perfect, and so are you. So you must have grace now. If I knew all these things that I know now after 15 years being married, my relationships in the early days of dating would have been much more easier, because I was immature and I didn't understand relationships. I went through a lot of heartbreak, and I stuck in relationships that were not healthy for me, because I was feeling I'm not worthy of more, anything better than what I was getting. Self-esteem issues were very bad at that time. When you're in the 20s, you're still trying to find yourself. Now, especially when your self-esteem has been hit so many times, you receive a lot of rejection. It knocks you down. It knocks you down, and you're not able to actually show up for yourself anymore, because you feel, okay, I'm not even worthy of being with this person. This person can treat me anyhow. That person has more money, or his social status is higher than mine. That person has a degree and a postgraduate, and he's got a doctorate. So I'm so much lesser than that person. That's what happens. That's what happens. Like when older women, well-established men, start dating young girls or that are just finishing high school or just beginning university, there's that there's an imbalance in the dynamics between these two people, because he's more matured and more experienced in life, and he has more money. She's beginning her life, a career. She's finishing a university. She's starting a career. Her self-esteem is not healthy and intact. He has more money. She has nothing. So the socio-economic imbalance is very big. That's the reason why we have stories like with Chesley. Was it not Ashley? Ashley was killed in April, because the person she was dating was like, I think it was 20 years or more older than her. She was like in the 20s, early 20s, and there's this person she was dating who's much older. Now he has a level above her. He can now treat her as if like she's nothing, because number one, she hasn't lived life long enough to learn and mature and learn about love and what she truly wants. Now she was exploring things about dating men outside of her race, because she felt that that was a better option for her. Now, and she met somebody who was just somebody was very violent, somebody was very abusive, gaslighting her right through until finally he killed her. But allegedly, because hasn't been proven in court yet, right? It hasn't been proven in court. I don't even think there's a court case, but these investigations are ongoing, right? But now, what I'm trying to say here, when somebody is much younger, dating an older man, even if it's a young boy, a young guy, dating an older woman, there's an imbalance with experience and even with social economical status. That person has more money. Like, for example, Cher, the singer, likes to date younger boys, unexperienced boys, right? Because she feels that those guys are much more controllable. But then again, everybody has a choice. Some young men like cougars, they like older women because he's attached to the whole mother. He has mother issues. So now he's dating an older woman because maybe he never get that love from his mother. So he goes around right through his life dating older woman because he elect that nurturing from his own mother. That's how it works. And I think it goes vice versa with women as well. Young girls that never get that balance for the structure, that balance for the experience, that love. You grow up with fatherly or for the issues, that pain, that lack, that feeling of not having a father figure, somebody to show you what it is to be loved by a man. You are in that sense. I know I'm talking about platonic love, not romantic love now, because again, remember, this is the parents and child relationship is a foundation for your self-esteem. When a father is there for his daughter, right through her most important milestones in her life, especially when she hits adolescence and becomes a teenager. She's had daddy tell her how beautiful she is from day one. Daddy has been protecting her from day one. Daddy has been confirming and validating her from day one. And when you don't grow up with that, there's a fracture in your psychology in terms of what is a man's true love, how to be safe, how to feel safe, how to pick red flags. If you never had a foundation of a good father, we have a problem when it comes to how to pick red flags in a relationship when a man doesn't really care for you. The man is gaslighting you. He's just telling you what wants you to hear or what you want to hear because you learned how to manipulate. Now remember that if a man is older than you, he has many years of experience. He knows how to gaslight you. He knows exactly what are the sensitive issues or buttons to press on when it comes to dating a young woman who is vibrant and independent and self-assured. But the problem is she's not really fully grown into herself, so you can take advantage of her. Although she has all these ambitions, but now they're kind of screwed up because she doesn't know what balance is. Remember, every experience in life grows you. Every relationship grows you. I'm talking through my own experience as a woman. I've had my share of relationships before I met my husband and married. By the time I met him, I knew all the red flags. I knew the nonsense. I knew all the things already that I need to watch out for because I had experience. You understand? I had experience, and experience comes with a lot of information about yourself and about relationships. You'll know your weaknesses and your strengths when it comes to relationships. You'll understand what is infatuation, what is true love. What's the difference between that excitement, honeymoon phase, and true love when it's grounded? Now, remember that when you love somebody, it's grounded. It's not about the excitement, right? The vulnerability and fear. You're able to be vulnerable with this person and trust this person as well. When you are in a love relationship where there's love, you're not infatuated, you're not in love, you are loving this person. It's love, it's true grounded love. Many healthy long-term relationships starts with being in love, as I said. The infatuation phase, the honeymoon phase, and evolve into loving someone when you realize this person is my person, when you realize that I'm safe in this person's space, right? So remember, sometimes it can go in cycles as well. I'll tell you why. 30 years is not a constant. It's not a constant feeling of me being, I love you. 30 years means every day and every year and every month we get challenged by our own problems in life. We get challenged that now love kicks in, that sincerity kicks in. Every year we have challenges. I'm married for 15 years and we've had 15 years of challenges and also joys and a lot of good things, but also some not so good things as well, because we're both growing as people. He is growing, I am growing. I am changing, he's changing. However, because we're in a relationship, we married, we committed, I make sure we constantly communicating. I'm watching his growth and he's watching mine. We are still validating each other that we still want to be with each other, no matter how much we change as individuals. That's how it works. Now, a lot of people don't want that. As soon as you change, you pick up weight or you cut your hair was beautiful and long. What really attracted me to you was your hair. Silly things like that can cause a breakup in it or even a divorce. You picked up 10 pounds. You were size 34, now you size 45 or 44. I can't stand it anymore. That's not love. That means that person's feelings for the other partner never evolve into love, because it is still about what I can get from you, how you make me feel when I be with you, how it makes me feel to be seen with you, sexy woman. That's sexy. She's 40, 45, but she looks like she's 25. I like that excitement. I like the feeling it gives me when my partners or my colleagues or my peers tell me how lucky I am to have a sexy wife. But as soon as she picks up weight, she's not attractive anymore. And it goes both ways, because women can also go through the same phase as well and begin to lose interest in their partners as well, right? So many healthy long-term relationships starts with the phase of infatuation and then evolve into loving that person more grounded, right? The initial passion and spark that they have, right, in a relationship, right, can be kept by them, that excitement. I keep on reminding my husband of when we met and how it was, and when we were together. Remember all those things. We went out, our first dates and our wedding day. Remember we went to choose our ring. Remember how our family members didn't believe that we're going to still be together after all these years. I like to talk about those type of things because it makes us both remember why we're together. Very important, right? To talk about why we're together and all the things we've overcome together. Right? You are my ride or die. You're the person that I want to be with you forever. Now, take note, guys, not every single person wants the same thing. Not every single person wants the same thing. Not every person wants a ride or die partner. They just want the excitement and, a thrill of being with a person. And when it's over, they move on. And then you're dating somebody that wants the opposite, a person that wants a ride or die, and you just want the excitement, the buzz, the sexual excitement. When it dwindles down after about 2 years, then it's over. You need to be able to be straight and upfront at the beginning. Be somebody with integrity. Tell your partner, this is what I want, and listen to what they want as well. So that you can prevent a heartbreak by you being open and honest to your partner, and ask them as well, what do you want? Do you envision marriage? I don't want marriage. I don't believe in marriage. Then why are we together? Ask yourselves these questions, because you don't want to mess up yourself and have breakups. And then you want to make up, you want love back, and yet the person wants something different. You don't excite them anymore. So allow them to go. You need to be able to be honest and own your relationship, guys. Own your relationships. Be honest to your partner. Honesty is always the best policy. Tell them exactly what you want and what you expect. I'm not looking for marriage. I just like things the way they are now. I dated somebody for 10 years that was not looking for marriage, but I held on like a fool because I was clueless. I thought maybe it will change. When a man has made up his mind, he's made up his mind. You can't change his mind at all. He doesn't want marriage and you want marriage. You should opt out. Opt out of the experience of trying to change somebody that cannot be changed. You understand? Talking through experience. It's possible to love someone like your family members, even a partner, without ever having that feeling of being in love. You can love somebody like how you can love a friend platonically or love a family member without that feeling of that buzz, that infatuation. That type of love of being or feeling of being in love is normally based on romance. Now you can love somebody or love a friend, love even a colleague, maybe even love any person that's close to you, but it never ever had that buzz feeling as well, right? That's the reality of the human condition, right? So there's ways of thinking about this whole story, practical. Being in love feels like magic. Loving someone is what you do to keep the magic from disappearing. I love this person, but I'm willing to do what I need to do to keep the love from or the magic from disappearing. That's where you hear people saying, "Oh my God, marriages and relationships are work." They are, because the first 6 months to a year or 2 years, sorry, 18 months, 24 months, the first 2 years of a relationship has got a lot of excitement. Sometimes it can be even shorter. It can be 18 months. A lot of sexual and also emotional excitement, butterflies in the stomach, and all those other things, right? However, when it comes to love, you've got to put a little bit more effort. You got to keep that spark up and alive yourself. All right, loving someone is what you do to keep the magic from disappearing, or to create something even better than before, to create a new excitement in your relationship. Both are very valuable, right? Both infatuation and being and loving someone and being in love is valuable. The healthiest relationship nurture both when possible, but rely on the deeper loving, right? Remember that the deeper loving is where we all want to be. We all want to be loved unconditionally. We all want to be accepted unconditionally. Even after the buzz is over, the excitement of the relationship is over, we all want to be the person in that person's life, the key person, the ride or die. Right now, self-love plays a very big part in this. Okay, they always say in spiritual cycle circles that self-love is so important. When you appreciate yourself more and love yourself and have boundaries, loving yourself, I have boundaries, I have expectations. And if these expectations are not met, I'm backing off. I put myself first. That's self-love. Self-love means that I'm not willing to be abused by you. I'm not willing to be gaslit by you. I'm not willing to be tortured in the name of love. I'm putting myself first. Now, a lot of people in this lifetime have been through the abuse, including myself, right? We've been to abuse relationships. And then we realize, okay, I don't want this. I'd rather be without this relationship and without the relationship than be in an abusive relationship. I say no. I have boundaries. Now, a healthy mind can only see what you want. Our mind is not healthy. You don't know yourself. You don't know what you want. You're constantly doing things because other people are doing. That's an unhealthy mind. But when you're grounded in yourself and you have boundaries in a relationship, you're able to make proper choices and say, no, I'm not accepting this. I have boundaries, right? I have what they call it, terms of engagement in this relationship. Now you have respect for yourself, you love yourself, you put yourself first. I always tell my clients, you got to put yourself first in a relationship. Don't compromise your safety, your mental safety, or your physical safety in the name of being in love. You see, because that buzz, that feeling of being ungrounded can also allow you to drop your boundaries and just allow anything to happen because you're in love. Then that becomes a problem. Now, especially if you're chasing the wrong thing, you're within the relationship because you want money. You're in the relationship because you want the status of being with somebody who's a crypto billionaire, or somebody that's working in a certain environment. He's a senior manager, he's a COO, he's a CEO, all those things. People are chasing status. That's the problem in this world. We're chasing status and money instead of chasing happiness. We are actually compromising and exchanging our happiness and our own safety, physically and mental safety, because of status and money. Right? But as we get more aware and awoke, we understand how the world works. You understand? We understand how the world works, guys. If you're new here to my channel, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'm Sissy, and life coach and motivational speaker. And if you like the topics of human conditions, spirituality, and self-awareness and self-development, go ahead and subscribe and join my community, my growing community. Okay, I normally do my lives on weekends. I normally do my lives on weekends if you're interested, right? But if you subscribe to my channel, you'll get a notification when I go live again next week. Okay, guys? So remember that love is complicated because we are complicated beings. Life can be complicated because human beings are complicated beings. That's the reason why love can be complicated, but it does exist. Love is a real thing. The first thing we need to understand is to love ourselves first, to accept ourselves first unconditionally. Self love is important. Compassion for yourself is a foundation for a romantic relationship. When you don't have that, your romantic relationships become a mess because you don't have self love and self compassion. When you cultivate empathy and love for yourself first, you show up for yourself more secure, less neediness, clinginess is less, better boundaries, and greater capacity for genuine connection. That's why it's important. So all my past relationships before I became a matured person, a sovereign person, right? I had a problem with self-esteem. So I chose all the wrong partners and wrong relationships. And that's okay as well, because I came here for that experience. I came for the experience of life. And where I am now, I can say thank you because I've learned a lot in my previous mistakes. Research, including studies about the human condition, right? There's a lot of research done on the human mind, human relationships, human condition, right? Compassionate people have a healthier relationships, apparently. When you have compassion for yourself, you automatically will have it for others as well. So compassionate people have healthier relationships. They are more caring, more supportive, less controlling or aggressive. Now, in my past relationships, I dated a lot of people that had no compassion for themselves or even for others. I didn't love themselves. They were confused themselves because I was confused. So what happens when you dating, you always attract who you are at any time. That's why self-development is so important. Taking ownership of the decisions you made in your relationships, taking ownership of where you are now. You are in a bad relationship or not so healthy, balanced relationship because of who you are. You need to change from within. You can't be expecting other people to change and you don't change. Have you heard people say in my counseling, it's not me. I've had 10 relationships and these relationships are all not good. The person abused me. He was a psychopathic. He was a narcissist. He was a gaslighter. All 10. And you're not taking accountability. You're not saying the common denominator in all the 10 relationships is me. What's making me attract all these sick people, unbalanced people, and sick, unbalanced relationships? Why am I attracting these relationships? That's taking ownership. That's taking ownership. So relationships are for people that are ready to take ownership because you need to learn from every relationship. Maybe a good one or not so good one. It's you learning about yourself and what you can do better, guys. Okay? Very important. So how to build this self-love and self-empathy. How to build yourself up so that you can be more balanced. Yourself is very important. Treat yourself like someone you love so deeply. Treat yourself like someone you love so deeply. Put yourself first. Practice self-compassion daily. Self-compassion daily. What does it look like? When you make a mistake, right? Or you don't feel so good about yourself, don't speak negative to yourself. Don't minimize yourself. Don't criticize yourself. Everybody has a bad day and every person can make mistakes. It's okay. Don't be harsh on yourself. Use the three elements of self-compassion, self-kindness, right? Very important, and common humanity, right? Remember that you are not alone in the struggle. Life is about learning. Every single person is learning and making mistakes in life. So have compassion for yourself. Meet your own needs. Put yourself first. Sleep, nutrition, movement, rest, and also as well bring joy in your life. Find things that make you laugh and be joyful. If it's exercises and movements, if it's movies, comedy, whatever it is, do engage in all those things to really uplift yourself. If you love reading, love nature, engage in those things that bring you peace. Very important. More sleep, guys. We need sleep because our energy depends on the sleep that we have. We need to eat good food because our energy depends on the food that we put in our mouth. The food you eat is energy. It's quite amazing how many people don't understand the food you're eating is energy. It's not just food, it's energy. And the more dead that energy is, the less energy you have. And people eat a copious amount of dead food every single day. And they're wondering, why am I not feeling energetic? And they're not sleeping because they're engaging in partying and engaging in alcohol. Alcohol drains the source of energy within you, which is water. And now you're training your energy. Then you find that, oh my God, I had a hectic weekend. I was drinking, I was smoking, I was having good time, as you call it, getting drunk and making yourself sick, but you were having a good time. In the name of having a good time. And I know we all done. I did in my 20s when I was younger. As a teenager, I engaged in those things, and in my 20s, early 20s. But that stage is not supposed to last forever. Remember that self-love is important. That stage of messing around with your body should not last forever. I know there's a lot of adults who smoke and drink and party till they're 60, 65. It looks so weird and it feels so weird when an adult is engaging in children's activities. When you were younger, you didn't know anything better. You're not mature. You haven't experienced life. Now you went through life and you learned the highs and the lows. You learned about nutrition. You learned about physical welfare. You learned about mind and psychology. You learned all those things, but you're still engaging in copious amounts of alcohol because maybe you became an addict in it. You understand? So I understand that any person who's still drinking and smoking and living an unbalanced life is you either an addict or you're just foolish. You haven't learned about life or you refuse to learn about life. So you can make better decisions for yourself because as you're getting older in age, right, your chronological age is getting bigger. The longer you live here, the more knowledge you're supposed to be absorbing from the collective through the internet, through books, through television, whatever source or medium you're using to get your information. But you're learning something that, okay, I'm now 35. I cannot do the same things when I was 20. I'm now 35. My expectations in life were not like when I was 20. Why am I still engaging in those things? That's part of self-love, putting yourself first, putting your health first. How do I feel in my body when I drink that alcohol and I party and smoke? How does my body feel? It's all about maturity. It's all about self-love, guys. It's all about maturity and self-love as well. You're right on all levels. Thank you, sweetie pie. That was Michael. Michael, thank you for joining my live. If you are new here, sweetie pie, please consider subscribing to my channel, my lovey. Okay, as well. And become my friend and join my community that's growing. Remember, we can change our lives at any time. There's never a time you cannot change your habits or get rid of a habit or drop it and engage in something more better in your life. To become better, to become more healthy. Remember, the older you become in age, the more wiser you should be becoming, and the better decision you're making, because you need to make better decisions so that you can live a long, nice, healthy life. Healthy in the body, healthy in the mind. Rest and sleep, eat well. Be very intentional about where you put your energy. Be very intentional of the people you choose to be in your circle. Remember, there's love and there's being in love. Two different feelings and two different experiences, right? Being in love is fleeting, it's infatuation, it's driven by the emotions, and dopamine is a key one there. It's that butterflies in the stomach, and love is more grounded, it's more nourishing, it's more caring, it's more sustainable, it's more dependable. I can depend on my partner, I can depend on this person. But when you in love and infatuation, you can't depend on that person to be for you there when you need them. Right? It's all about that, guys. So as I said, if you have not as yet, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and join my community, right? I'm about to finish my live today. So guys, Love yourself, accept yourself, and don't criticize yourself. Very important, especially in 2026, when we're going to be receiving all this information. More is coming, guys. What we've heard and seen is only the tip of the iceberg. We're still get more coming in. And now they're throwing the virus, a new one, right? We'll talk about that. But anyway, I want you to know that health, mental health, and physical health is so important this year and going forward. Be conscious of every choice you make. Remember that if you want somebody tells you to do something, learn more about that thing. Don't just be a drifter. Learn about the so-called new virus, whatever. Learn about it. Understand that you cannot be hurt by anything. This is the second cycle of another virus. Remember the COVID. Now we have another one. Second cycle. Be very cautious and make decisions for yourself. And as we all understand, we cannot trust governments. We cannot trust them. We need to trust ourselves. Trust yourself first in what your inner guidance is telling you to do at all times. Remember, your peace and your wellness is the most important thing at this time. So eat healthy and choose wise choices when it comes to food. A lot of people are becoming plant-based now for a reason, because our frequency is rising. We're getting rid of this whole concept of killing animals. I know that will take time for human beings to change from the killing of animals. It'll take time for our frequencies to rise. Coming from somebody who's eaten meat and all those things, but my perception has since changed, and it keeps on changing more and more and more when I get to understand about myself, about energy, and about frequency. Meat is death. It's killing of an animal. When you eat that meat, you consume that energy and that karma as well. All that thing, the pain that animal went through, you consume it. And unfortunately, when you do something over and over again, repetition becomes a habit. You get dumbed down and dimmed down, and you don't even see or even understand the consequences of what your actions have actually put you on this earth. And that's what they really depend on. Human beings are habitual beings. We operate in habits. And when something is comfortable, it's a comfort zone. And I don't know any difference. And I get stuck in this thing. They know exactly how we operate as human beings. And remember that everything is driven by commercialization. It's all about selling, about business, corporations making more money. You got to put your health first, put your own wellness first, and don't expect a government or corporations to think for you, for your own wellness and your own safety. Mental safety and wellness, very important. We can't depend on governments. And I'm talking about all countries, all continents. It's all been proven, even in the Western world, that the governments don't really care for their people. In any country, the people have to care for themselves, for the communities we live in, but it all begins with you individually taking care of your own health, your mental health and your physical health, and making proper choices that add value for you in the long term, not short term happiness, but long term happiness. Guys, as I said, I have a great week coming, right? Because it's Sunday today. Tomorrow's Monday. We all start our hustle and grind work week. Remember to remain safe and be kind to yourself and kind to others as well. So have a great week further, guys. I'm going to enjoy the rest of the Sunday. Bye, guys.